So, who is Lord of your wallet? We're going to ask this from the book of Deuteronomy. It's a fair question. Yesterday we asked, what's the refrigerator and the diet of God's people look like? Because there are some distinctives. And today we're going to ask, what does their checkbook look like? So, we ask this in the shadow of something that we've already learned from the book of Deuteronomy, which is, He has produced the abilities within me that I utilize to acquire from without. So I have a superpower. He's given me a superpower, which is the ability to work. So we get this from Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 17. Beware lest you say in your heart, by my power and the might of my hand, I have gotten me this wealth. You shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may confirm his covenant that he swore to your fathers, as it is to this day. So he's saying, be aware of where your wealth comes from. Do you have a strong back and hands willing to work? Do you have the ability to learn something that's valuable in the marketplace? So God is claiming this real estate in our domain. So the abilities to acquire wealth, and here today, the wealth that it produces, the wealth itself. So he's going to say today, I am Lord of the wallet, King of the checkbook, Lord of Venmo, Prince of PayPal, and of the paycheck. So we've asked, how did you get your paycheck? And now, what do we do with it? So this is from Deuteronomy chapter 14. You shall tithe all the yield of your seed that comes from the field year by year. And before the Lord your God, in the place that he will choose to make his name dwell there, you shall eat the tithe of your grain, of your wine and your oil, and the firstborn of your herd and your flock, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. And if the way is too long, that is, if Jerusalem is too far away from you, if the place is too far from you, which your Lord chooses to set his name there, then you shall turn it into money and bind up the money in your hand and go to the place that the Lord God your chooses. Spend the money for whatever you desire, oxen or sheep or wine or strong drink, whatever your appetites crave, and you shall eat there before the Lord your God and rejoice, you and your household. And you shall not neglect the Levite who is within your town, for he has no portion or inheritance with you. And at the end of every 3 years you shall bring out all the tithe of your produce in the same year and lay it up within your towns. And the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance with you, and the sojourner and the fatherless, the widow, who are with you in your towns, shall come and eat and be filled, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands that you do. So God is laying claim to your ability to work, that's for starters, but here he's laying claim to the earnings themselves, the yield of your seed, the field and effort. And all of it is from the Lord, and all of it is for the Lord. I heard a person say one time, he said, I give 10%, and the other 90% is mine. That's bad theology. Here is more of what he's saying. He's saying, learn to fear the Lord. 100% of your abilities are from him, and 100% of the yield is from him. And then there's the spirit of celebration, of eating and drinking the tithe. So grow in learning to fear the Lord, grow in learning about God. How? Well, getting this money, earning and yielding, and getting this concept right. Here's one of the big things. It's all from the Lord. And then what do you do in response? Well, there's a generous response, which is to be generous with yourself before me. And part of the tithes goes to yourself, which is so interesting. Part of it goes to the Levite because he has no land portion or inheritance. The tribe was not apportioned land, so they could serve the Lord 100% of the time in the church. So who wouldn't have as much without you without your financial attentions? Give those people some financial attention. So he expands the giving beyond that of just giving to the Lord. He says, be especially generous to those among you without much resources, the Levite, which are those who serve a church, and also those who have suffered loss of country, the sojourner, loss of parents, the widow, the orphan, and those who have endured loss of spouse, the widow. So the spirit of this passage is not one of dire demand, but a joyful response. You eat the tithe. Your problem probably isn't that you tithe too much. Your problem is that you're too grouchy and you don't understand the concept of this, and you tithe too little and you shoot yourself in the foot because of it. To those who have experienced loss, the invitation is come and be filled. To your family, eat and rejoice, and to yourself. And you shall eat there before the Lord your God and rejoice, you and your household. So done right, you probably want to give more than 10%. The prosperity gospel that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands that you do. So this principle is one of blessing and generosity, one of spiritual growth, not of dire demand, but a joyful response to a generous God who got the whole thing started by giving you these abilities. All right, so what are the distinctives of Christians and believers today? The wallet of believers should look different than the world. It's founded on the extravagant generosity and blessings of God himself, not the least of which is your ability to work and earn and have something for yourself and the Lord, and the losers, those who experience loss among you. Not losers in value, losers in having experienced loss. So here's the final question. If we did a forensic accounting of your finances, and it's not that complex, you probably could do it on the back of a note card, would the generosity of God and the generosity towards God and the generosity towards his people be reflected in the results? Would I see in your household see, in your church see, and the losers among you see a joyful response of money in the numbers? So God has blessed you to be a blessing. He said that to Abraham, and it's true for all of us today too, and that is to be a blessing with money. So he says today, I am Lord of the wallet, King of the checkbook, Lord of Venmo, and Prince of PayPal. The question is for you is he Lord of your wallet? Thanks for listening.